the lovely solar system with the sun in the center. Oh, hello everybody! Today I'm going to show you about our solar system traveling from the first planet Mercury to the last planet Neptune. As you can see, this is the life cycle of the sun. As you can see, when it reaches the red giant phase, it begins to grow hugely. It will swallow up Mercury and Venus with a 44% chance that it might swallow Earth inside it. But if Earth survives, it still won't survive for long. Here is our solar system. The sun in the center, Mercury as the first planet, Venus, the hottest one, Earth, our home planet. Let's leave Earth for a while and now let's travel on to the sun and the first planet. As you can see, this is the real scale of the sun, much larger than Jupiter. It is mostly made up of hydrogen and helium fusing together to create a large ball of gas. It's hot and it can reach 1,000,000 degrees in the center. The sun is so hot that without the sun, Earth might survive. Even though Earth is more than a mile away from our sun, the Earth is so far away from our sun, but it still remains habitable. It sets in the east and rises in the west. Now, as you can see, this is the real scale of the sun and its large plasma core. Mostly the inside core is mostly very big, much bigger than maybe Jupiter, but the outside is mostly covered in plasma. Now, Mercury, the first planet from the sun. The planet is mostly covered in craters, much smaller than the Earth. Mercury is the smallest planet in our solar system. Mercury is a little bit larger than our moon, and you can see it from the night sky as the third brightest object next to Venus. As you can see, I labeled Mercury in the right and bright sun. As you can see, there are a lot of craters on Mercury. Mercury is the most cratered planet in our solar system, but even the moon has more craters than Mercury. Mercury is very close to the sun. That's why it doesn't have an atmosphere. It doesn't have an atmosphere, so you can't go there because it's boiling hot on the sun side and very cold on the other side. Now we look at Venus. Known as Earth's sister, it's mostly similar in size to Earth, but a little bit smaller. Venus is very hot, as you can see, as we go above the clouds that cover Venus. Venus has a thick atmosphere full of carbon dioxide and sulfuric acid, so you don't want to visit this planet either. Now, as we leave Venus, we travel to our home planet, the Earth. As you can see, Venus looks lovely from the outside, but the inside, not so nice. It's the second brightest object in our sky. It's so bright, even you could see it with your own eyes. As you can see, now we're going and approaching to our home planet, the Earth. The Earth is the home planet where we all live on. It's filled with trees and forests, buildings and water and pools too. Now we leave our Earth once again and visit the planet Mars. It's the third visible planet from our Earth. As you can see, it's much smaller than the Earth and it has a thin atmosphere made out of carbon dioxide and oxygen. As you can see, there are water at the bottom and the North Pole. That means there's ice. But due to the reason you can think that there's oxygen, there must be life. Now we leave Mars and visit the moons of Mars, Phobos and Deimos. Deimos and Phobos are the two small moons of Mars. They probably got captured from the asteroid belt and are now orbiting Mars. The asteroid belt is a large belt between Mars and Jupiter. Now we get to Jupiter, the largest planet in our solar system. It has more than 79 moons known. It has 4 main moons: Io, Europa, Ganymede, and Callisto. All of them pretty much smaller than the Earth. You can see it from the night sky too. It's very bright too. Just like Saturn and Jupiter, they are very, very bright. Now as you can see, these are some of the pictures taken. As the closest moon to Jupiter, Io, it is the most volcanic moon in our solar system. Next, Europa, the moon with more water than the Earth. Next, it's Ganymede, the largest moon we know. Also, next we travel to Callisto, the most cratered moon. Jupiter has at least more moons, but it remains undiscovered. The large Jupiter is much larger than the Earth. As you can see, there's a red spot on the side of Jupiter. It is known as the Great Red Spot. It's larger than the Earth too. As you can see, it's so large that you can even fit 3 Earths inside it. Now we reach the lovely planet Saturn. Saturn has the most loveliest rings in our solar system. Oh, it's lovely Saturn. But as you think, it isn't solid. It's made out of more and more tiny materials orbiting Saturn. So that is called its ring. Also, as you can see, Saturn has lovely rings, but it isn't a disk as you might think it is. It's made out of rocks and minerals and even ice. Also, the rings of Saturn are much larger than the Earth. I think the Earth can fit into one of the gaps in between Saturn's rings. Next, Uranus. Uranus is a light blue gas giant that orbits the Sun. It is much larger than the Earth. It's also called a gas giant. The weird thing is it spins on its side. It has rings too, but the weird thing is how come it spins on its side? Uranus has more ice than any planet in our solar system. Now we reach the final planet, Neptune, the lovely planet. Neptune is much larger than the Earth, but it has a darker blue than Neptune, than Uranus. Whoops. Also, it's very weird how scientists couldn't discover it. Why that Neptune has a darker blue than Uranus. It's very weird. Scientists couldn't even still figure it out. Now, as you can think, oh, I'm forgetting something. No. Pluto used to be the 9th planet from our sun, discovered in 9th. The Pluto is a dwarf planet now, no longer a planet. Pluto is much smaller than any moon of our solar system. It is now called a dwarf planet. As you can see from scale, Pluto looks like a tiny, tiny droplet of water. Pluto is much smaller than our moon and most moons of our solar system. Most moons of our solar system are much larger than Pluto. Also, Pluto is the largest object in the Kuiper Belt. As you can see, these are some of the dwarf planets and dwarf planet candidates: Pluto, Haumea, Eris, Sedna, Orcus, Varuna, and some more. These are some of the dwarf planets and dwarf planet candidates orbiting our star. This is our solar system. As you can see, the solar system has many planets and unique colors, all orbiting the Sun. Mercury, Venus, Earth, Mars, Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, and Neptune.